Hello, everybody. Here we are. I'm Dave Finale, and welcome to Real Estate Talk TGIF. Thank God it's Finale. That's right. That's me. So here we are. We're talking about we got a special guest. His name is Eric Tseng from Padscouts. Padscouts is a really, really cool new product, new app, and a new software where it works with your. Well, you know what? Instead of me telling you, let me have Eric. And welcome, Eric. Thanks for being on today with us on Real Estate Talk TGIF. Tell us all about Padscouts and what it does.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me, Dave. So what Padscouts is a suite of technology that helps you analyze your sphere. So our main product inside of the entirety of the Padscouts technology platform is what we call Sophie, and it's our sphere of influence tool. And it helps you determine who inside of your personal contacts are likely buyers and sellers within the next 12 months. And everything else around our technology is focused on your engagement with your sphere of influence, either through a digital marketing tool or who's going to your website, which we also have a website builder, all in one package. And it's just centered around your sphere of influence and how you're engaging with them.
Everything else around our technology is
that's cool. Sorry. So, all right. So what is it going to do for someone's sphere of influence as they move forward? And is it going to help them with their business? Of course, it's going to help them with their business, right? But what is it going to do to bolster their business? What is it going to do for that? Explain that and go into a little detail with that.
Yeah. So most technology out there is all about lead generation and pulling in contacts that you might not have ever met personally.
Right.
But Padscouts, we're actually a very small boutique brokerage also in Chicago. We started to build our own technology because what we found was most of your business comes from your sphere. It's always friends and family referrals. Over 2/3 of a great agent or top producing agent's basically business always comes from that arena, not just buying leads. So what we started to do was, hey, let's give our agents an advantage and basically identify the likely buyers and sellers so that they can really hone in on who to grab coffee with, who to really nurture that relationship. And that's why, like, when I heard about your system, it was a perfect marriage of we help you identify who to talk to, and then you teach them how basically to talk to them. So the sphere of influence, we believe that if you know who to talk to and know how to talk to them, it's going to grow your business exponentially. Our own agents have experienced over the last year, just testing our own product has tripled their business. So it's amazing. Like just focusing.
It is pretty amazing. And you talk about, you say my product, and just so everybody knows that is called the SOI method. And it's an online course, a video course that I built over the past year and have begun to update actually, all about working the sphere of influence. It's called the SOI method, right? So I find that, and let me know if you agree, I find that most real estate agents and most sales entrepreneurs who should be using the people they know have this trepidation, have this problem, and this fear of talking to the people they know. So one of the things, one of the myths I try to break is that people don't want to hear from you. And I think that's a lot of crap, honestly, simply because they do want to know what's going on. They just don't know how to communicate. And one of the things I think that's really cool about your system is that it's gonna like give them kind of like the impetus to actually contact people because, hey, guess what? There's a chance they might be buying or selling. One of the most important things that I tell everybody at the end of one of my sessions, and I did it this week, I actually worked and did 2 training sessions on the SOI method this week, is that 15% of the people you know are moving this year, in the next year, and 100% of the people you know someone who's going to buy or sell this year. And it's amazing that people don't utilize the people they know for the base of their business. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that I don't know where the trepidation comes from because talking to someone you know is so much easier. You don't have to do any sales. For example, if someone's about to have a baby or if someone's about to get married or someone just went through a divorce, like you can be there for them during that process. And getting to know them it can lead to a sale, right? And I don't know where, if you're there for them and you're their friend, why wouldn't they use you? It's the home buying experience, especially, and also financial services, they're generally based on trust. And who do they trust more? An agent that they just saw on Zillow, or a person who cold called them, or someone that they've known for their whole lives, someone who sat down with them, grabbed coffee with them, learned about their family. Like that's what we believe at Padscouts. Like that's what's worked for our little brokerage. We only have 5 agents, but they're all successful because that's how they leverage their sphere. You know, they know who they're selling to, and it's not as hard of a sales pitch. You don't have to be, just direct with them. It's just a softer kind of engagement. So that we think that, I don't know why people are hesitant, because it's easy. It's grabbing coffee, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You see, a lot of times people say, well, you want me to call and annoy my friends and family? No, we don't want you to call and annoy your friends and family. Look, the lives we live today are quote unquote social, but you know what? We've become a lot of people think they're extroverts, but since they won't pick up the phone, and wait a minute, just so everybody knows, this is what they call this is a phone, in case you haven't seen one in a while. The thing is that they don't know how to communicate, and they think that they're more social than ever, but they're not. They hide behind text. We hide behind email. We hide behind social media. And honestly, there's something that we all have to look at with Facebook is how real is it, right? Mm-hmm. But when you see someone post, something about a family member, or something's going really well, or even if, unfortunately, not a lot of great things happen every day. I mean, bad things do happen. Yeah. Pick up the phone, communicate with that person, right? Mm-hmm. That's part of it, right? So in the SOI method, we teach both the old ways and the new ways, right? What Padscouts does, I believe, is you take that sphere of influence, and you're going to do some work with the data.
Yes.
So what kind of data are they really looking at? Let's get to hone in a little bit on this.
Yeah. So we pull from multiple sources, some publicly available, some sources that we purchase from. I don't want to go into super extensive details, right, but we can find certain things about their life events, income changes. So like babies, marriages. Let's say you had a raise, or you actually had to downgrade. It wasn't a raise. You had a demotion. Your income level kind of dropped. We can kind of see all that. Their buying patterns. So over the last year, we've done some really interesting stuff with the data. For example, what we found at Padscouts was if a young couple between the ages of like 25 to 35, the newly married, start stacking multiple vacations in 1 year, they have a very, very high likelihood of having a baby soon. And then what happens after the baby? Usually they need to upgrade their dwelling. So a lot of these things, that's how we're processing the information. We take life events, different like data points that we can pull about these individuals, and all we need is an email address or their phone number, and we try to piece together the rest of the data from them. So, and then we try to make a good propensity score on each person.
So in other words, the 2 words that we're not using are you're utilizing in a manner of form predictive analytics.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's predictive, there's descriptive, there's a lot of different things, but in this case, it's all predictive analytics. And the interesting thing about predictive analytics, I have found out, is that there are so many companies that have been doing this for years, and the consumer does not even understand it or get it. Does everybody out there have one of these things called a customer card or something from their supermarket or from Target? Mm-hmm. Guess what? Yeah. It's not so they give you discounts. That's how they get you in.
Exactly.
It's how they know what you are buying. There's a story I heard about Target, who was one of the beginners of this predictive analytics situation, where they sent something to this young lady who was underage, below 17, and congratulating her on getting ready to have a baby. And the parent found out about this and called up Target and gave them an extreme hard time. Now, I could be completely wrong with this, but this is what I heard recently. What I actually read a story about it. It wasn't that I heard it.
Yeah.
And it turned out that this person actually was going to have a baby because of the buying that this person was doing at Target, that they knew that what to send this person in the mail as far as coupons are concerned. This is what, in our area, it's ShopRite, it's Stop and Shop. It could be Wegmans, it could be, I don't know what supermarkets are in your area, but the supermarkets are the ones that really hone in on this, or do you have your frequent flyer card or whatever? That's what it is. Expand on that for me.
Yeah, this predictive stuff has existed for years, actually, and I was surprised to find that it didn't exist in the real estate world, because these data aggregators are out there and they pull together information. If you have a Target credit card or a Costco card or Starbucks card, all of that feeds into these data aggregators because they want to provide them with the best resources to market to their clientele. And what we're doing is the exact same thing. So we're not very new at this. We're just new inside of real estate. But the predictive models that come about your Target story, I think that was a year or two ago when news broke out that this occurred. And yeah, they predicted off of buying patterns and your search behavior online and a lot of other things. So yeah, these things have existed for a while, and we're just bringing it into real estate. And I think that over the next few years, you're going to see this really kind of grow.
Yeah,
because
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
yeah, because at the end of the day, the better targeting of your own personal sphere is just going to elevate your business. So
there's companies out there. We talked about them yesterday in our little conversation. There's offers.com, there's smartzip.com. And I, as a company, when I was a broker owner, used SmartZip. And all of these companies have used predictive analytics. Offers and SmartZip use it for areas in towns, like they'll take blocks or streets or zip codes, whatever. Mostly it's streets, not zip codes, because the way they charge is too expensive to do a whole town for one person. But it's all, look, let's face it. You're going to get their information. Their information is not infallible. Some of it's going to be wrong, right? But, you talk about this, and then that's basically for zip codes in town. What we're doing is talking about the people you already know.
Yeah.
I know there's another company out there called Revaluate that does this, and I saw them in Manhattan last year in January. Tell me how you differ from Revaluate, and discuss offers or SmartZip if you want to. Just go through that a little bit.
Yeah, so the difference between us and Revaluate is that we actually care about the entirety of your sphere's engagement with you and also your engagement with them. So similarly, we do have the tool where we can predict whether or not they're going to be buyers and sellers. So us and Revaluate in that sense, somewhat close. But what we then do is, if you don't have a website, for example, our agents in our boutique brokerage, we give each of our agents their personal website. So we give them insights on who's going to visit, where are they coming from, and then also all the digital marketing pieces, right? We have the digital marketing assistant that lets you post certain things through your social media, how you generate ads, and then how is that all interacting with your sphere. So we believe in a holistic package, not just one single tool where it's like, I'm just going to give you a list of propensities.
Right.
Because a lot of times, that's just another platform to go to for just a list. I get a list this month, and then, I'm going to walk away and I'm going to forget about it. Or it's just a little bit underwhelming when you get the entire list and you're just cold calling everybody trying to schedule, coffee. So what we try to do is a holistic package. And then offers, the difference between offers and SmartZip, they go a little bit different with the predictive analytics, which is interesting too. I think that they could help you grow your network, so you can meet more friends. It's a lead generator. What they do is they take specific areas like a zip code and then basically go off of the natural turnover rate in every single location, which is about 4 to 6% in every area. And what they're going through is a homeowner, if on average, moves every 7 years. So they're just looking at that natural kind of potential moving time frame between 5 to 7 years, and they're giving you their contact information based off of public records and things like that, so that you can try to grow your network rather than working your current sphere. So that's kind of the difference between how Padscouts is versus a Smart Zip and offers.
I think the interesting part is no matter what, it's communication that has to occur, right? I mean, look, you know, you can have all the information in the world, and if you're not willing to pick up that phone or go stop by or call for coffee, I mean, it's a matter of the communication. Now, when it comes to working with the sphere of influence, as I said before, and I'll continue to say, the problem is that people don't know how to communicate, as I said. Mm-hmm. And the communication is, hi, this is Dave from so-and-so real estate, and I'm great. No, that's not what we're talking about. Yeah. What we're talking about is having conversation, being nice, you know, mentioning things that's going on. I mean, you know, honestly, I mean, okay, so say someone submits their SOI to you, and you find that they find out of 200 people, 10 people right away are going to move in the next few months. It's just, you know, I'm not exactly there on the complete details on how it works, but a lot of people won't know how to communicate. They won't know how to pick up that phone or to do a private message on Facebook or whatever. My point is really simple. Look, you can start with, hey, it's been a while, or hey, I'm sorry I haven't been in contact. It can start as an apology. There's nothing wrong with that. Make it sincere. The whole thing is all about the way you communicate, and what your system's doing is really just honing in on who exactly in this sphere is doing it. And the way I talk about it and teach it, it's got to be done. I mean, it's a system, just like anything else. I mean, you've got to do it on a regular basis, and that means non-negotiable time. So your development of this came through a desire to help real estate agents, right?
Yeah, it was basically years ago. I saw that my own real estate agent a few years ago, I was in Oklahoma, and he struggled to really kind of help me out because he seems so inundated with a bunch of things. Like all he tried to do was sell, because what he was used to was trying to find leads. And what I started to think about was like, hey, like I almost look at you as a friend because we're both military members. Like, just talk to me for real. Don't just be, you know, a salesperson to me the whole time. And I started to think about, wow, he could grow his business exponentially if he really focused on, you know, just being a person, really. I mean, that's how I saw you. That's why I picked you. I trust you, and just don't be such a salesperson. And I started to really peel that onion back and really think about how real estate agents and also financial services, really any like sales entrepreneur should focus is to just think about who they already know and just continue that relationship. And which is why I think your system is very interesting. Like I can't wait to learn more about it, because like, how do you talk to someone? For me, sometimes naturally it's just, I love grabbing coffee with people and hearing about people's lives anyway. So love to hear just like little snippets of quick tips. I know we don't have all the time in the world.
The issue really is that just be a friend, be a person. I mean, sure, if they're service people or acquaintances, they may not remember you. So just, hey, you know, hey, it's Dave. You know, we met such and such a time, and hopefully you remember when you met them because they're on your list. I mean, look, here's the thing. This is what I would say. When you went to school as a first grader or a second grader or a third grader, you went up to somebody and said, hi, my name is, what's yours? Because let's face it, we didn't know any better. Yeah. Right? There's just to go and the people we know, it's all about romance too, right? Prospecting is all about romance. So I saw this video on Facebook a few months ago about the best pickup line in the world. You know what it was?
What?
Hi, my name is.
That makes sense.
That worked, right? Hi, I'm, right? It worked because people would talk about it, whether it was a male to a female to a male, whatever, you know, that worked. So it's just nice because it's just, hey, look, man, people just want to talk to you anyway. They really do, because we're so tight now in our social media, because it is media, it's not talking. So anyway, we talked a lot about this, and I really believe this is a great system. We talked about your system and you're just getting it out there, getting ready to launch, how do people utilize this? How can someone call you or contact you to get this, get a trial of this?
Yeah, so right now, actually, it's not completely released to the public yet. What we want to do is continue to test this process across different cities and things like that. So email me. It's at eric@padscouts.com, and we'll give you a demo, and then we'll start unlocking the accounts for you so that you can start using it and then basically start targeting your personal sphere. And then follow up with basically your SOI method, which is just grabbing coffee. It's
right.
Really kind of the simplest formula. You find who to target, and then you go and
well, that's the thing. I mean, call them and say, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. Hey, let's grab a coffee and catch up, or let's go. Honestly, let's grab a drink and catch up.
Yeah.
I got a friend that I don't see that often, and I went to high school with him, and I actually him and I had a birthday recently, and so I actually called him on his birthday. Hey man, let's get together. Let's hang out for a while. Let's have a drink together and whatever. And so I haven't seen this guy in a few years, so I'm going to get together with him. Look, that was a reason for me to call him and to contact him, so I took advantage of it. Another way, just to go further, one step further, is when it's somebody's birthday and it's a friend of yours, pick up the phone. Just don't write happy birthday on their timeline. That's just.
Oh yeah, I actually rarely ever write just on a timeline. Most of the time I'm texting them because that's just a little bit more personal. Or if it's someone much closer to me, I pick up the phone. And people remember that. It's the regular human touches that I think the social media world has kind of deviated from. I can't remember who posted on my wall or on Instagram or anything like that, or who commented. But I remember the 2 people who has written me a handwritten note over the last 2 years, regardless of whether or not I technically like them, but I remember who they are. And if they just grab coffee with me, I'll always say yes.
A handwritten note. You said, that's such a magic phrase. I've talked about that for years and years and years, and it's actually one part of the old ways in the SOI method. And I tell you what, just to expand on that for a second, someone comes home, they get the mail. Like for me, my mailbox right next to my garage. So when I walk in, I've got recycling box right there. And I'm just like shooting it in. And if I see a handwritten note, I don't even walk in the house. I'm opening it and reading it. And I'm saving it.
Yeah.
Always. There's a few I only have a few of them. But when I get them, birthday cards, who does that, right? Mm-hmm. I've got some real estate friends out in California. I'm going to give you their names. Julio and Jeanette Arias. I met them years ago through some buddies out social networks company, Matt Allman and John Reyes. I met them through. They send me a birthday card every year. And I actually am looking forward to their card because we met a few times. We've talked about business. We look at each other's stuff on social media, and it's just great people. But anyway, look, what I did was in the comments, I put your contact info. I put eric@padscouts.com. Anybody looking to enhance their sphere of influence prospecting, this is a great product. I know all about Revaluate. Eric and I and Ken, right? We discussed this out at Inman for quite some time, and you're going to do at least a 30-day free trial on this. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Just contact me, and we're going to walk you through the process too. So you won't be alone on it.
Everybody's hand, in other words, right?
Yep.
Because you know how people really want to be treated. They want you either to do it for them or to hold their hand constantly. And that's one thing you're going to get with you. And that's just amazing. Yeah. Is there anything you want to add before we finish up here?
No, just reach out to me directly. We believe in the human touch, which is why we're going to walk you through the process. And we believe in it. It's not just the software that you sign up and you just kind of try to play around with it. We're going to, for example, if you have some agents in New Jersey that are interested, I actually might be flying out there at the end of the month to kind of meet with other agents out there to really handhold them through the process. And yes, we're trialing for 30 days right now. And reach out to me.
Great. All right. So listen, everybody, Eric@padscouts.com. That's his email address. That's a way to get a free trial of this SOI, Sophie,
Yep.
sphere of, what'd you call it, Sophie?
Yeah, we just named her. So it's a sphere of influence tool, but it just looked close, like Sophie. So we just called her Sophie.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, reach out, Eric at Padscouts.com. Thanks so much for everybody tuning in. I see Lewis is on, and Peter Mack was on, Michael Akis, Arthur Shattuck, Carol Wright, Barbara Stein, and Marielle Duran, Francis Cozier, all were there. And thanks so much for being on. Eric, I'll talk to you in a minute. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next week. We'll have a surprise realtor guest who's been extremely, extremely successful in our area here in New Jersey. And she's going to be on to talk about a lot of different things. So I thank everybody for watching. We'll see you next week in Real Estate Talk, TGIF. Thank God it's finale. Thanks a lot.